Why my friends ghost me. Let's begin. Ghosting is the act of abandoning someone without explanation, and is not limited to romantic relationships. It's rather common among friends. Furthermore, it hurts just as much. Ghosting is a particularly devastating type of hostility, especially if you're the one who's being ghosted. It occurs when people mysteriously disappear from your life, with no explanation. In fact, you're left scratching your head, wondering what went wrong, and what you may have done to offend them. That person you thought you knew, and had put your complete trust in, has betrayed you, and you have no idea why. The term ghosting is a relatively new word. It does, however, characterize an old practice. It's true that it's always happened, in both emotional and non-emotional relationships. However, currently, the methods used to carry it out are different. In fact, it's sometimes much simpler for folks to do. All they have to do is refuse to take any calls, or respond to any WhatsApp messages. Even though this is a phenomenon as old as human interactions, there is one thing that cannot be denied. It's the fact that some people move from relationship to relationship, or friendship to friendship, on a regular basis. It's also true that persons who are subjected to such behavior frequently experience trauma. Victims of ghosting are becoming more common in psychological sessions. It's an ordeal that wreaks havoc on the sufferer's self-esteem. Friends who ghost you. The no reply, the WhatsApp message without the double blue tick, is thought to be a clear indication that someone is simply not interested in you. But how can you accept it all of a sudden? How can you presume that a seemingly nice buddy, whom you trusted, is no longer interested in interacting with you? In reality, it appears like today's relationships sometimes simply disintegrate, like an aspirin in a glass of water. The discomfort, however, does not go away, rather, it worsens. Furthermore, while this experience has become fairly widespread, the scientific literature on the subject is still very new. Dartmouth and Roanoke colleges in the United States undertook a study to try to figure out why some couples and friends break up without giving any justifications. Ghosting is far more common among friends than in romantic relationships, according to the study. However, this reality does not make the phenomenon any less distressing. Let's take a look at the possible causes of ghosting. Why does ghosting happen? Friends who ghost you are those that abruptly abandon you in the middle of nowhere with no explanation. Furthermore, you have no idea why they did it, and are absolutely befuddled. What went wrong? To begin with, abruptly ending a relationship without explanation displays a certain level of emotional immaturity. Obviously, they weren't the type of friend you expected. You have no choice but to accept it. They have other things on their minds. Perhaps, they considered your connection rewarding for a time, but then their interests and tastes shifted. Another fact is that they may have disliked certain characteristics of you. Perhaps your principles or attitude irritated them rather than enriched them. For them, other more significant friendships emerge. That's all there is to it. They may simply locate someone with whom they get along better, and hence dismiss you. They, on the other hand, are uncomfortable and afraid of telling you, so they prefer to ghost you instead. On the other hand, there could be another component at play. Your friend may in fact be dealing with personal issues, and their answer is to keep their distance from you. This is a possibility that cannot be ruled out. Many people who ghost realize that being honest and having a dialogue would have been the best thing they could have done. However, they choose the simplest option out of guilt and dread of how the other may react. I'm going to vanish and not answer to texts. How to deal with the disappearance of a friend. In the aftermath of the epidemic, the phenomenon of friends ghosting has become more common. It's as if many people have decided to reformulate their relationships, end some of them, and start over during this time of separation and isolation. This choice is quite appropriate. It must, however, be done honestly and not in silence. How can you handle these all too common kinds of situations? Here are some ideas. It's crucial to check in with a buddy when they don't respond to your messages, to make sure everything is good with them. Keep an eye on your friends' social media, and talk to third parties. Because the most common thing that happens is that they continue to submit photographs to Instagram or Facebook despite not replying to your WhatsApp messages. Give up as soon as you realize the person does not wish to respond to you or have any interaction with you. Delete their contact information from your phone and social media accounts. This is a necessary and beneficial step for you to take. You should also keep in mind that someone else's terrible behavior does not determine your own merit. It's not your fault. The individual who is ghosting you is to blame. They show a distinct lack of both honesty and maturity. There's also something else here that's evident. It's the fact that dealing with something awful when you don't know what it is or why it happened is exceedingly difficult. This is an experience that will stay with you for the rest of your life. When in doubt about why a buddy has abandoned you, keep this basic reality in mind. True friends stick around. False friends are like falling leaves from a tree. They are eventually carried away by the wind. Thank you for watching. Please click and subscribe and comment below.